What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am back with the Mariners post-game recap. As I always say before these videos start, if you guys can do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button for me. Get about 20% of the views as my views start to go up on these from non-subscribers. So if you like it, you're going to hit that thumbs up. Just think about hitting that subscribe button for me. And remember to hit the like button. Just gets it out to more people. Shows them that but people watching may be enjoying this content. So please do both those for me if you don't mind. This can be a pretty short recap for me. Been a long day. I've got a long day tomorrow. Mariners lose 6-3 today. Same stuff, different day. I said it yesterday. Say it again today. It's just, I'm pretty much at the end with this team. I can't. And every time I say that, they rattle off 5 in a row or something and make me look stupid for saying it. But I just can't right now with these guys. It's just, everything is the same. It's the same frustrating stuff. It's, inventing new ways to lose. In the 8th inning, Munoz gets the strikeout of, I think it was, who was it? Farmer. And then Solano comes up and a ball goes right off Tom Murphy's glove that he should have caught that leads to a run scored. Just team just inventing new ways. And of course it's, let's get into it. Let's dive into it. Start with the pitching. I thought Luis Castillo was okay. I thought he was more than okay. He thought he was good today. The home run thing is still a problem for him, and he's going to have to get that figured out. The one run he gave up I thought was a little weak. There should have been a called third strike in there. It happened. So you take that out. You got 6 innings, 6 hits. He gives up 3 runs. It would have been 2 with 2 walks, 11 Ks. Hard to be too up in arms about that. The 11 Ks is fantastic. It's as good as he's looked in a while. The home run thing's still a problem. I would have liked to see maybe a 7-inning start out of Castillo to really, be the ace and everything. But if I'm getting on Castillo today, I think a lot of the frustrations with the offense and just the team in general, there's no reason that couldn't have been a win for Luis Castillo. No reason those numbers shown there couldn't have led to a victory. Topa did his job. Spire did his. Munoz has been off. He looked really sharp when he first came off the injured list. But the command's been iffy. I think he's fine. I think he just, listen, relieving's a high-risk occupation. We've seen plenty of relievers go from lights out to in a year. I'm not saying Munoz is I'm just saying it happens in relief pitching. You're talking about guys that throw, 40 innings a year, maybe? 45? That's the equivalent of 7 starts for a starting pitcher. It's not a lot to judge these guys on. And Munoz has already missed some time. And clearly the stuff is good. We've seen it. It's just not as sharp. Not as sharp as maybe it was last year for him. Devin Sweet pitched the 9th. Major League debut. That changeup's really nasty. Gave up a couple runs. I'm not going to get on a rookie making his Major League debut. But again, the theme for me with this team this year is every game they won last year and the year before, they have lost. They have lost this year. It does show you the fine line and the fine margins in baseball. It really does. Because I don't think this team is that much different than the past year's team. It's just everyone, again, this is a game last year. Gino hits that 2-run home run in the 7th. They find a way. Munoz gets him through the 8th. They scratch out a weird run in the bottom of the 8th and Sewald locks it down, or that bottom of the 9th. When they got the first 2 guys on and kind of a loopy JP reaches on an error, Julio's hit by a pitch. They find a way there to produce a run and score and win. Like I said, they win that game last year. But this year's team is just done a complete 180. They lose every single one of these games. And I figured there'd be some regression with that. This team wasn't going to keep up the same level of play in one-run games. But they haven't just regressed. And I know it's a broken record, guys. I make videos every night. Post-game, it's hard not to be a broken record sometimes. But they went from best team in baseball to one-run games to one of the worst. The regression would put them somewhere in the middle, 500-ish. I know this wasn't a one-run game, but just those close games. And now they're terrible in them. The bullpen, is it terrible? I don't think it's terrible, but it's been really unclutch. That's for sure. I think there's some good stuff in that pen, but man, they have not been clutch. Every time they need that shutdown inning, it seems like they just don't get it. Perfect example was today. Some of that goes on Tom Murphy for dropping that ball. It's funny, we're all sitting there going, man, why isn't Murphy hits the home run? Why isn't he just the everyday catcher over Cal? And then Murphy drops the ball just to kind of prove to us why he's probably not the everyday catcher over Cal. Colton Wong needs to go. I'm just looking at this now. It's enough. Get rid of Pollock and Wong. I get it. I get trying to get something out of Colton Wong. He had a stretch there where he looked better than what we had shown early in the year. I get there's not a lot of options at second base, and Caballero has certainly cooled off a little bit too, but there's no point anymore to keeping Colton Wong on this roster. There is zero to gain from it. Same with A.J. Pollock. Listen, I don't think Taylor Trammell is amazing. You can bring up Cade Marlowe, give him a shot too, but I'd rather see Taylor Trammell get those at-bats than A.J. Pollock. I mean, at least it's someone that could do something for you. I'd rather see any middle infielder in AAA get those at-bats right now over Colton Wong. There's no point. Just let Cobby go full-time, or let Dylan Moore have some plate appearances here and see if he can, kind of get back into form from last season. So, yeah, the pitching today, I thought Castillo was fine. Again, I would have liked to see not giving up the home runs and, and whatnot, maybe one more inning, but I can't be too mad about it. Offensively here, JP 2 for 4. Julio 0 for 3. He was hit by a pitch. That helped reach. Hope he's okay with that. Julio's just in a rut, looks lost. Kelenic 1 for 4. I will say Jared Kelenic's kind of nice start to the second half. I don't think he was going to cool down there, and he's been solid, I would say. Gino's getting the power going. He's homered in all 3 games in this series, so we're certainly seeing the power resurgent from Gino. Unfortunately, it's just not matching up for this team. Is one of the things I talked about they needed in the second half, and they are getting it so far, but unfortunately they're not getting anything else. Mike Ford 0 for 4. He's cooled off a little bit. Teo's been a mess since the break, 0 for 3. Ty 0 for 3. His OPS is under 700 now. Ty France all of a sudden has gone from, last year an all-star or looked like one of the premier first basemen to someone that, a 692 OPS not going to cut it. Tom Murphy, good game, 1 for 3 at the home run, but then he has the drop ball, catching. Colton Wong 0 for 3. Just time to move on there. So, and story of the team season, they get the 2 runs and Murphy homers to make it 3-1 bottom 6, and then Gino hits the 2-run bomb in the bottom of the 7th. They go, okay, tie game. Chance to win this game and take the lead in the series despite how tough it's been, and they give that run right back in the 8th. How many times has this team done that this year? How many times have they scored and just given it right back? Starters, relievers, anybody. Not trying to get in the pitching. It's been the better aspect of this team. But, how many times we've seen it? This team can just not. It took the Twins 4 batters just to get that lead right back. So frustrating. So frustrating. I'm not super angry. I'm not going to go on a big rant, yell thing because it's just the same stuff. It is just the same stuff every night. Now we've played 95 games. There's 65 left. I think there's 6 out of a playoff spot. That's a lot for 65 games. It's not easy to make up. They went 7-2 over their last 9 before the All-Star break, and they technically went from, I think, 5 games back to 4, or they stayed at 4. They went from 4 to 4. They might not even made up a game. That shows you how hard it is to make up games. It's not, I think people have in their head you win 4 in a row, and then the other team's got to lose as well. So, if you go 8-0 in a stretch, you would still need Toronto or Houston to go 4-4. If they go 6-2, you still only gain 2 games, and you just played your best stretch of baseball. So, the Mariners played their best stretch of baseball this year and just didn't make up any ground. I'm not blaming them for that, but it's the world we live in. It is what it is. And now they're back to struggling, and they're losing ground because these teams are now having their own good stretch. And that's the thing people don't realize, too, is that, the Mariners were hot and these other teams are cold, but that is going to change at some point. I talked about it when I did my Mariners assessment of playoff odds, and I was optimistic. I still believed in this team, and I'm a fan, but I talked about, they're going to run into a cold streak. It's why you can't bury yourself early. And I was very forgiving of the team in April and May, but they just ran out of, I talk about the cap tips. I used to tip my cap to opposing teams in April and May. They did good. They did what they had to do. Can't do it anymore. This team doesn't have any caps left to tip. Can't do it. Kenta Maeda you should hit him harder than that. I get it. I talked about yesterday, I think he's better than his ERA, but 6 1/3, 3 runs, 2 earned, and both those were given up on a home run by another pitcher. 0 walks, 9 strikeouts, not acceptable. You got to do better than that as an offense. You got to hit those guys. Yeah, that's about all I got. Just frustrating loss. Um, it is starting to hit that this team just uh, it's just not happening. Like they're just not getting that streak. Listen, it's baseball. Any team's capable of rattling off 8 or 9 in a row at some point. And after I went on that kind of tirade after they lost the National Series, they did it. Maybe it starts tomorrow. But how long am I going to say that for? How many videos have you guys heard me say that? Maybe it starts tomorrow. And maybe it does. I'll be here. I haven't given up. But eventually tomorrow is going to be the final game of the season. You know what I mean? And you're just not going to have time to make it up. So on that note, tough loss. Hopefully you can get a split tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Tomorrow's going to be tough for a post game for me. We're leaving for our trip tomorrow, so I don't know if I do. It might be a very brief 2-3 minute video just to kind of get on here. And then this weekend will be tough as well. I'll probably have maybe very quick post game recaps. Might just do a series recap. I'm not positive. Probably depends on how the games go and everything like that. So I'm not running and hiding, just out of town this weekend. So hope you guys all have a great night. Thank you again for watching. Remember to hit like. Don't forget to comment. And don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you guys all next time. As always, have a great night. And go M's. Go M's. Yeah, go M's. Peace.